Nothing soft about this game. You got USC and Tulane. USC favored by 2 points. This game is on January 2nd, 1 Eastern. USC was a game away from being in the college football playoff. I know some time has passed since the Pac-12 title game, but that hurt. Another really great way to say it. I think for USC, with their back against the wall in a game like this is a chance for them to dispel the whole LA narrative around their program. And you know what I mean when I say LA narrative. The narrative that everybody that's there is there for NIL money, and everybody that's there is there for the sunshine and the Los Angeles atmosphere and the glitz and the glamour and looking cool. Like, in a game like this where you're not playing for a college football playoff spot, obviously, and you just kind of got some humble pie served to you from Utah in the Pac-12 title game, this would be a chance to respond and I think really expose the culture of what's going on at USC. I think it'll be very, very telling. For Tulane, whole lot of juice. Coming from the group of 5, Willie Fritz turned down, reportedly, the Georgia Tech job. Michael Pratt said, run that back, Turbo coming back for another year. There is a lot of excitement, momentum building behind this program. So you have USC, who I don't want to say they're trending down by any means, but they're sort of plateaued in some sense. We're going to find out about them. And you have Tulane, which is just jet packing in terms of momentum. So this will be a whole lot of fun to watch this one go down. Hinge points in this one. Can Tulane play keep away with the offense? Kind of similar to what we said about how I think Kansas State wants to play Alabama. Tulane wants to run the rock. They're a 57% time run the football kind of team. And guess what? They got televisions all over Tulane's campus. I promise you, they know that Caleb Williams won the Heisman Trophy. They also know that even without Jordan Addison, USC's scoring over 40 points a game. And for all the firepower that Caleb Williams and USC present in this game, I promise you, they want to limit possessions for the Heisman Trophy winner. They want to pound the rock, and they want to say, Caleb Williams, we appreciate you showing up. We appreciate you for what you have done this season in terms of a resume, but you're going to have to watch this one, my guy. Grab a towel, grab some Gatorade, just hang out. We're going to go on a 14-play drive right now. Like, that's the kind of scenario that Tulane would like to be in. Now, for USC, what I'm looking at is, can the trenches take a step up? We all remember it. We all saw it. It was unfortunate. It wasn't appropriate by any stretch of the imagination. If you let your children watch, shame on you. But Utah just took USC to the woodshed, especially in the second half. We've seen USC have good performances in the front seven, but the game against Utah was not one of them. And so I'm not so much curious about that first half. I'm worried about their stamina. I'm worried about when Tulane has run power at you 15 times in that first half. In the third quarter, are you really going to want to fill on the run? Are you really going to want to get downhill and put your face mask in there one more time? Because that in itself, I think, exposes culture. We talked about at the beginning of this segment, USC finding out about what's under the hood. You find out what's under the hood in the trenches in the second half where you're not playing for a college football playoff spot. And so I think the dichotomy is very interesting between Tulane wanting to pound the rock and USC having to answer the call to action and try and dispel the narrative that they are a tough football team and that they can play in the trenches. So that'll be a very, very big deal. And I think that's really going to expose the psyche of USC, quite honestly. We'll see how far along they are as a culture under Lincoln Riley on the defensive side of things, with Alex Grinch calling the defense. If you haven't yet subscribed, no time like the present. Lock in with us. Now is the time. Bowl games are here. Playoff games are here. No time to be wasted. We cover this thing 12 months a year. The beauty of college football, we got you. All right, make sure you're locked in. Also, follow me on the socials at JD Piquel on Twitter and on Instagram. We're not going to steer you astray. So, when you look at these two programs, look at their operations, USC has so much firepower. I understand Jordan Addison's not playing in this game. You still got the Heisman Trophy winner in Caleb Williams. And if he can be healthy with how he is running the football, it's gonna make things difficult for Tulane. So the thing I'm looking at, can USC's firepower kick in the first half? Because Tulane, if you're comparing these two programs as vehicles, Tulane to me is much more like a Hummer. Like, it's great. It'll get you from A to B, but their specialty is going off-road and running the football and playing tough and being blue-collar and going uphill and just sort of eating up the gravel. Now, USC is like a Ferrari. And you and I both know, if you spot that Ferrari 50 yards or however far, you give it any kind of a head start, it's going to be tough to catch. So if USC can go into half with a 10-point lead, it's going to be tricky. I mean, Utah's the only team that's been able to dispel that kind of narrative, but I'm just telling you, with how these teams are built, with the talent gap that I perceive between USC and Tulane, any kind of lead at half for USC will be an enormous advantage for the Trojans. Caleb Williams, I think, has something to prove. I think they have a very bad taste in their mouth from how their season ended. I was actually impressed by the emotional response they had when they lost that game. It wasn't just a disappointment. It was you saw tears from multiple players on that team. That tells me there's a buy-in there. There is a competitive standard they're holding themselves to in Los Angeles. So with that being said, Tulane scoring 33 points a game, USC scoring 41 a game. I just have a tough time believing that Tulane is going to be able to keep pace with USC. So we're going to pick USC to win this game. I think USC actually wins this game a little bit more handily than this spread indicates. USC is favored by 2. I think the final score is USC wins 38-24. So the Trojans get a New Year's Six Bowl victory in their first year under Lincoln Riley. Caleb Williams gets some more hardware to go with the Heisman. And the party rolls on for the good folks in Los Angeles as USC wins the Cotton Bowl. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.